then let's get going on this one. Okay. And we are set. Good.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
Okay. So here we are. Sure. Okay, so you did this, and I can live with this. You're doing the hoppies, which are, you know, making me a little wild, but okay. You go for the fire strike, which I can live with because there's no real backline that you're worried about here. You don't block the rock, you get stunned by the rock, and now you've got a decision to make. Okay, you shield. I don't want to push into this. Now I can push into this, but you made this decision to push into this before I was comfortable. And this is going to be super micro, but it's going to matter because your decision actually happens here. You get stunned, you lose some health, you're down to 300 health, and you're not really willing to push around a corner into opponents with 300 health, right?
Yep.
Come out and face me.
Huh. It looks suspiciously like you're pushing around a corner with 350 health here. That isn't really my favorite. And by the time you get here, you're up to 400 health, and that's potentially fine with me. But I probably just walked at this. If I really wanted to be aggressive and I trust my supports, I probably immediately started walking at this with my shield up. And then once I'm close, I potentially go for swings. If I don't trust them, I probably waited to get healed more up to like 400 before I even rounded the corner at all. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Okay. Oh no.
That's the best you can.
Oh boy. Easy to do. Easy to make the mistake that you're making here, but you go like this. You go for your fire strike. Cool. And did you decide this is as much aggression as you can afford? Or what did you decide here? Because you decide you swing, and now you put your shield up, and maybe that was to block a nade, no problem. What are you up to now? Like, you feel like you're sort of on some sort of leash of, I can't go any further forward. If you feel you can't go any further forward, you're not allowed to hold this space, and you need to go find cover against the opponents. If you feel you can go further forward, you need to go further forward. If you feel, hey, I'm gonna go offensive again in just an instant, you need to be at or just outside swing range on the opponent so that once you get healed up, you can immediately go for another swing. So of those situations, do you have cover or are you leaving? Are you pushing opponents, or are you putting your shield up so you get healed, but you're within a step of the opponents that you'd then be able to swing on instead of when you get healed? Which of those three is true?
I think I was just standing there just because of that shield, and I wanted to get healed up, the enemy shield, and I couldn't get shielded by the Ana, and so that's why I just stood there. But I definitely need to. I can't. There's probably not any reason to. I mean, I could get aggressive. No one's really targeting me. I just keep walking.
Right.
I'm still in natural cover from the enemies, so there's no reason why I should just stop maybe walk around that shield.
Walking around the shield would be fine. Yeah, it was obviously a bit of a trick question, and that none of the things applied in terms of you were just sort of dancing in the open, waiting for Anna to heal you, and that's not really going to work for us, right? Like, we needed to keep going. Totally fine with me if you go, I'm walking around the shield so that Anna can continue healing me. Once you see that mercy beam on you, maybe you even stop caring about the shield. But so be it.
The objective is
Okay.
now active.
We'll keep an eye on those fire strikes. Okay. You can stand here, but this is tough. It's tough for me to believe. Like, Reinhardt's got some pretty broad shoulders, we'll say here. This is a tough one to stand on and believe that you're not just going to get chipped down and your supports aren't having to pay too much attention to you. You see what I'm saying in terms of like, oh yeah, I bet we can get you from here. I bet we can get you from here. We're like, and if that's the case, you have to put your shield up. And if you put your shield up, you're spending, not saving resources, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So really, we're going to have to go like more, no, this is the corner that we hold. And if they rotate through over here, so be it. That means our backline gets to shoot at them for longer. We'll deal. Okay.
Get behind you.
How do you feel about that fire strike?
They're probably gonna get a lot more damage on me than I'm gonna get on them.
There you go. Okay, you're gonna have to hard shield. Okay. You're doing it. You're doing the I'm on a leash thing. So you do this, you sort of walk forward and then you pull back, and now you walk forward here, and I can tell that you feel like this is as far as I can go, and now I need to shield and back up. Like, I can't go any further. Well, that doesn't work for me, because you spend a bunch of health or shields going in like this, and you get maybe one swing, and if you were just like, hey, I go in and get my swing, and then I back up to cover, that would just be you trading, and that would be fine with me. But I don't think you're going back to cover here. I think you're just sort of being like, I feel like this is as far as I can go, and I'm going to try to hold this space. I feel like that's what you're trying to do, and can you do that? Can you just hold this open space here?
No.
So the health that you spent to get in, you either need to go, I spent it to get in, I got to swing off, and now I maybe spend some more to get out. Or you go, I'm spending this to get on a target, and I'm going to keep going on my target, or keep going on my target until I have to shield, that sort of thing. But you instead back out here. So if I look at this, even before, well, now you've got the nano.
My ultimate is charging.
We'll deal because you got the nano. But I'll go back to the situation before you get the nano. Cool. There's a Zarya over there. I don't like it. Let's pretend you hadn't got the nano. You could have just gone, hey, I'm never going to be able to break that Zarya. I can't push that Zarya without Sigma shooting me in the back, but I can step over here and push this Sigma without Zarya shooting me in the back, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So let's just go do that. Look, don't do this. I'm going to, like, get stuck hanging here in the open thing. But, okay. Fire strike, you asked to get rocked there. Sure. And you're going to back out for the mini.
Much better.
Sure. Okay. So you just didn't see them up there.
Don't worry, my friends.
Are you going for the mega and then leaving, or are you going to stop point?
I think I was trying to make that decision, and I think I'd just try to get out eventually and die.
You're staggering yourself, for sure. Yeah, no, okay. No big, no big. Just too slow to make the decision, and I could have told you, you know, a good 3 seconds ago you weren't getting out, and you should have just put your shield down and let them finish you. But, hey, all good. Sure. Okay.
The weight.
To cover.
Destroy.
And you're gonna, I don't know why you backed away from him. So, like, she's not scary to you. You go in here, you decide to take out the turret, and you go like this, and they're shooting at you and we don't like this. But I can pretty confidently go, oh, sweet, they gave me a way to swing at Zarya without them shooting at them, the rest of them shooting at me, right?
Yeah.
And I get it, you're low on health right now, but, like, I don't really want to back away from Zarya unless I'm actually leaving. If I'm actually leaving and I'm going to go over here, so be it. But I don't think that's what you're doing. I think what you're doing is you're going, I want to block everyone. Oh, maybe you're trying to actually leave. No, you're not. You're not leaving. You're still doing this shield up thing. And if you're doing this shield up thing, that tells me that you're not leaving. Do you see what I'm getting at here, where I want you to go, like, I don't want you to give a shield away for no reason. I either want you to get out, or I want you to fight something while you have armor, but just that something. So again, this just becomes a, hey, if you're backing out, so be it. But if you're not backing out, I want to step right up here and I want to swing at the Zarya, and I will happily 3v1 this Zarya, like, every time. 4v1 this Zarya. Okay, she's got more help than that, but not a big deal.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Could have been epic. Okay, now you're gonna back. Why did I say now you're gonna back this time instead of finding one that you could swing on?
Uh, is it because that they were like I was definitely in a bad if I did try to attack someone, I definitely would die?
Yeah, exactly. You definitely didn't have the like you had 97 health there. You were never going to you didn't expect that, oh, I'll put my shield up for a second and I'll get healed back up and then I'll be able to swing, nor was it a hey, I have 500 health, let me start trading some of it. No, you got it. You got it perfectly. Not sure what that's about. Good block.
Barrier is
Let's put our
failing.
shield down. Let's put our shield down. Let's put our shield down. Go.
Barrier won't hold forever.
What are you going for here? Like, if I'm your supports, I'm about to go on strike. And what I mean by that is you go here.
Sorry.
You're sort of just swinging into an open space. Swinging into an open space like that is fine. But you did a fair amount before that of...
Dein Schutzengel.
What is this? Why do you need to stand here?
I was thinking, well, at the like when I first saw, I put my shield up when I had like 300 health because I saw the res,
Got it.
and then I don't know if I stood in front of it to body block or if I don't know what exactly what I was thinking after
problem.
the shield. But yeah,
So this is the mechanics of res. Mercy is the one who's vulnerable right now. Ashe is not.
Schutzengel.
Ashe is still not vulnerable. Ashe is now vulnerable. So there's very little need for you to like protect that rezzed person in this situation. She actually had lots of ability to get out. You generally are looking when it comes to protecting rezzes to protect the person who's doing the rezzing, and Mercy was pretty protected in this situation. But okay.
that makes sense.
Sorry.
I don't expect this to work. Do you expect this to work?
I think I might have gone in on the
Bob?
Ashe doing Bob. Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look. You did. You went in off the Astro and Bob. Okay. So because you're going off the Bob, I'll go with it. I don't really like this concept of you pushing with half a shield. I especially don't like it when you're doing some square dancing here rather than actually walking on them. Like, you having low shield before you start to go in means that you have even less shield available for your rotation, which means your movements have to be even more decisive. Sort of the opposite of what you do here.
I probably would have a lot more shield if I didn't do like put it up and then walk in front of the door and stuff.
You would, it's true, but all good. Okay, you do want to hard shield this. Yeah, it's too late.
Get back in
Okay. Okay, we'll take it. Probably not. So you go like this. I don't really want to go for the Fire Strike because the Fire Strike isn't going to finish him off and it's not your best DPS. Like, if it was finishing him off, it would be one thing, but you're going for maximum damage right now, effectively, and that's going to come from swing rather than from Fire Strike here. Like, you could go Shatter, swing into Fire Strike and be Fire Striking Zarya as she gets up, but even that, like, you know that as long as this Fire Strike isn't going to be the elimination and isn't going to hit multiple people, there's very little reason to go for a Fire Strike here. The 85 versus 100 damage, it's not really worth considering how much faster your second swing will come if you go for the swing.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, I get it. I totally get the problem here. This probably feels bad as Reinhardt. You've got opponents in front of you in two different directions. So, how can you solve that?
Make it so that I'm not visible by the other people, or just choose one.
Just choose one? What, like turn walk on Zarya and just accept that they're going to shoot you in the side? What does just choose one mean?
So the situation before where we were in the doorway and Zarya was going up the stairs and Sigma was on the right, I could have just chosen this I could have chosen the Zarya that was right in front of me, and if she would leave, then well, yeah, I don't know. Choose one. I just walk towards someone at least, but because I mean, walking towards someone's better than just sitting here being a shield, I would think.
frequently, but that's still not what I'm gonna say. What I'm gonna say is you had an idea there. Your first idea was go in such a way that it closes the sight line on one group, something like that. The other is just to put them all on the same sight line. If you put yourself here, I don't care that they're all shooting at you from in front of you. You can swing at Zarya and then put up your shield and stop all the damage, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or if Zarya is shooting at your friend over here and you go, I'm gonna walk up with my shield in the corner, and now I'm gonna go in and swing on you guys. Well, now I have cover between Zarya and me. So like, there's a couple ways to do this, but usually you just want to change the angle so that it becomes a single angle, because Reinhardt is really good at pushing a single angle.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
They're gonna gift it to you. You don't have health, but Anna could heal you real fast if she wanted. She doesn't want it. Sure. How's that fire strike feeling?
I'm finishing off the Zarya temporal. I'm trading. I'm getting a trade.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
Yeah, neither of us died.
Okay. I don't know which I'm more disappointed about not getting eliminated, but hey. Interesting. You just trust that Torb's gonna miss his shots? Yeah, you just trust that Torb's gonna.
Did I see him shooting up above? I thought it was. Is he shooting like
I mean,
high?
sure,
What?
yes, he's shooting. He was shooting above at the high ground, but you're
Oh,
just like,
I see.
yeah,
I'm just like, yeah, you won't shoot me.
you won't shoot me. Like, your 250 health can go pretty quick.
Enemy turret down.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. That fire strike. I can't walk into that. Like, yes, I love hurting this Anna. Don't get me wrong, but these guys are already through. It's just not really on the table because now they get to shoot you in the back. But okay. Okay, so you do this. The point flips because Genji couldn't be bothered to touch it, and you were away. And you now have a decision to make of, hey, what am I going to do? What can you do from this situation?
Absolutely nothing.
Cool, let's go out swinging. WM1. Okay, you're going to pin away. Second best option. Ends up being the best option. We'll take it.
Let's get you back out there.
So is it the best option because I get I don't have to take a long time to respawn and my supports get ult charge? Is that why it's the best? Okay.
Yes, you aren't further delaying your team, because if you went and got eliminated right there, you'd probably delay your team 2-4 seconds, something like that, because your respawn would be, 2 seconds behind your previous person who had been eliminated respawn, something along those lines. But also, yes, you get the ult charge for your team, rather than if you get eliminated, that's 500 ult charge down the toilet.
That makes sense.
Sure. Still not wanting that fire strike. Just shield, he can't follow up on you. Okay, so that was risky. So remember, after you get slammed, you're always going to be at, not always, you could be lower, but you're going to be at half health. So it's unlikely that you want to go hard into a swing pattern after getting slammed like that. You can continue taking space, but probably not a swing pattern. Your team's totally on point already. How are you going to solve that soldier that just went to high ground if you go to point?
I'm not going to solve it.
So
if I do this.
So who's going to solve it?
Probably nobody, unless I can't tell if this Genji just bladed.
Sure,
He probably won't. but he probably doesn't realize
Sure,
that they're up there
sure.
yet. But
Okay, so not a big deal. The point that I'm making here is soldier on high ground, it might not like win a fight 90% of the time, but it does a pretty good job of winning a fight, right? Like a soldier on a bit of a different angle on high ground. It's really hard to fight into that, yeah?
yeah, definitely.
You can probably do more good literally just walking up here and chasing him off even with your shield and making him leave or making him drop than you can down here. Is that a fair estimation?
Yeah, that's definitely fair.
Okay, so let's do that. But all good.
Until you see this sick pin. Oh, that was not it. It wasn't that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that definitely was a silly pin. Though.
Oh, okay.
3.
Oh, okay. So you decide you're gonna hold this angle. They're coming main. Oh, baited you. They're actually coming through hookah. Okay.
You're powered up. Head in there.
Sure. Walk on soldier. DM, shield. Good. Okay, so that works. We can see some awkwardness in when people take small concaves on you. We can see some, hey, we want to get this right in terms of when we can swing versus shield with our health. Some, hey, maybe we shouldn't, after getting slammed by Flux, go just swinging on empty air. We can see some things like that, but, you know, you conceptually, and we can definitely see some big holes with you just see big groups of people and you like to fire strike. But we will work on it. We'll work on it. And now you've got the Reinhardt map, so now everything's going to be grand.
Yeah, this is the I think this is the map that has a situation where I think this is actually what it is, where I start and then I'm a bit ahead of my team because of the charge at the beginning.
Sure.
And then I try and take the space on their side of the point.
Okay.
And then
You're going to get crushed from the right.
I believe, or yeah, I believe so. I can't remember.
Okay. Okay. So I wanted to let that play out. Generally on this map, we actually go to take this one, and we go to take this because generally this feels like, oh, it's high ground, it should be good, but it's kind of stuffy. It kind of doesn't feel great in terms of like, you don't have the greatest cover here for fighting. You've got to come in pretty deep to be able to see much of the points at all. This point usually actually capitulates to a team controlling this angle and this angle. So when you're the faster Reinhardt, because you will be the first person in, you're actually generally best off taking this space and then working your way into here. So that's just a little opening thing that we'd swap. But what that generally is going to do is you actually didn't get crushed too hard here. You do this, you decide to fire strike at a hit scan who's already shooting at you, generally not the right move, and you go for this, and this I'm okay with. You're not actually ahead of your team. Like, yes, you are ahead of your Ana, but that's because your Ana is slow. Like, did Ashe have significant horizontal mobility?
No, not really.
And their Ana managed to get here, and maybe they did a Lucio swap or something, or a Sim swap, but really, your Ana's just being slow. So you don't need to worry about, oh, I'm too far ahead by the time that they get here. You should have been fine here from a healing standpoint. You go for this, hit the block, we'll take it, and now we've got a decision to make of, hey, what am I going to do? Well, we're worried about the hook, but you do have your diva right here, and this is kind of what you'd like to do. You'd like to swing, but you can't until you've got a little health back. You decide to go for a swing. That's not a swing. That is a fire strike, and you get hooked, and now you're not going to get another swing opportunity, are you? Like, maybe we can go for one more. Sure, we do go for one more. Now you're done, right? So if you're done, you got to go somewhere that makes you safe, or you've got to decide I'm just trading out. So which are you doing? Are you trading out, or are you kiting to somewhere that makes you safe against this push?
I don't know. I don't think I would be able to get any trade, so I probably would just try to kite somewhere.
Okay. So this is really your only option, right?
Yeah.
Giving out.
Is there any world where I drop into the hole?
There's a world, yeah. I mean, it's not what I'd recommend, but there's a world where you drop, get the mega, pin over to here, walk up over here, walk up over here, and go like that. It's better than getting eliminated here, yes. It would be better than what you did. You had the resource to kite yourself out to here, and they didn't have anyone here. So you kite yourself out to here, and you sort of just surrender space, that sort of thing. And then you're pushing back in from here once you anti-sealed you up from here, or you loop back here and you try to push into the point. But yeah, dropping into the point would have been better than letting yourself sort of get stuck in this corner, which again is what you did. You went like this. You still have 500 HP,
Giving out.
and you've made it to the back wall here. So if we keep going, we can get out, but we didn't really keep going. Yeah, you just kind of got lost on map geometry there. Yes, this is going to feel bad in terms of they're shooting you from here and they're shooting you from here, but you mostly did the right thing. You stood here and went, hey, I'm going to hit massive cleave damage on you guys, and your Ana was just late. That's part of the story of what happened here. Your Ana was late, your team didn't do enough damage. You made them go through all of your health, all of your shield, you got some good cleave damage. That's what you're looking to do in that situation.
Do you think that I shouldn't have gone for the last swing that I had where I had Discord on me, and then I think I can't remember if I was like 350 health, because yeah, there was the last swing that I had Discord on me, and then looking at it now, I was like, oh, that I shouldn't have done that.
Correct.
You
You generally wouldn't go for the swing with the Discord, especially at 350 health there, unless you literally know you're going to get bubbled as you go for the swing.
That makes sense.
Come out and face me.
Don't you stay here. You're wandering. The hook. You have some shield, but not much in the health world. Waiting the second for Ana, fine. You see that Diva's low. Unfortunately, she got D-Max. Okay, so we're just going to waste time. You don't have much choice at this matter.
Don't worry, my friend. I am your shield.
You need to push. Okay. So you get to a point in this game where, remember, they have better poke than you, right? They've got Soldier, Cassidy, Sigma, and Roadhog, and you guys have a Reinhardt, so they've got better poke than you. So you don't want to poke phase too long. You're trying to wait for your Diva to get back, just like earlier you were waiting for your Ana, and that's right. But your Genji has already decided to get a bit aggressive here. And your Diva's not going to be that far behind, so you're just going to have to take advantage of what you are, Reinhardt. Because the longer the poke phase lasts, the less happy you are. This Ashe is just taking engagement timings all into her own. Okay. Okay. Don't know why your fire strikes. Fine.
The objective is mine.
Okay. So if you want this soldier... Now, you've eliminated enough people and it's fine, but which way should you go? Should you go around the right or around the left to get the soldier right now?
I should go around the right.
Why?
Because his retreat path is going to be towards the right.
Let's pretend one or two more people are alive on the red team. Should you go to the right or on the left?
Well, I know it's left, but I don't know why it's left.
Yeah. The reason is if more people are alive, yes, I'm stipulating that those people alive are somewhere around the point or somewhere retreated here because that's the general direction that the team was. And I would like to take away, yes, it makes it harder for Ana to heal me if I go left as opposed to right. But if I go here, I'm just going to get shot in the back while I'm trying to deal with Soldier, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I want to minimize the angles. If I can make them have smaller angles on me, I'm happy as Reinhardt. Okay.
You should join my team.
I'm on fire.
Okay.
Should I have not done that fire strike? Because then that just gives them ult charge when I don't need any.
No. And the reason that the answer to that is no is you don't want them to be able to advance for free. You don't want them to be able to advance for free. You would like them to have to push through spam, push through pressure, and potentially get picked off, or at least have to spend shields, have to spend anonades, have to spend breathers, have to spend amp heals, have to spend sigma barriers, heal stations. You want them to have to spend resources to push. And your Fire Strike can combine with other random pieces of spam, like, say, deflected shots from your Genji, or your Ashe hitting a TNT, or whatever, to get eliminations, and it's kind of a pretty good ability for that. Like, Fire Strike does half of a squishy's health, right?
Yeah.
So, no, I'm not going to tell you to stop doing Fire Strikes, because I want them either playing scared because they're at half health, or having to burn cooldowns because, again, they're at half health and they don't want to be at half health, or just getting eliminated because Fire Strike combined with TNT, a couple Zen shots, whatever the case may be there. Generally, making them advance through pressures and spend resources is worth more than the uneven ult charge. And also, if you're really doing your ult tracking here, their supports have their ults too already. But even if they didn't, I would still say throw the Fire Strike. That said, you did this. You have full barrier. Okay. Okay. Congratulations. You now have 651 HP on your barrier. What have you accomplished with your barrier in the last 1,000 HP?
I saved our Genji from deflect running out, and he probably wouldn't have died anyway because he had deflect going on. So probably nothing.
Right. So your barrier is rarely used as a tool to enable your team to poke, or to, like, give the opponent something to shoot at while your team does other stuff. It's very rarely used for that. It is much, much more useful to either allow you to walk at enemies, or to allow you to stabilize mid-fight to give Ana or Bap or someone a chance to catch up on your health so that you can get back to swinging on enemies. Does that make sense?
Yeah, getting from point to point.
Right. Well, also stabilizing, like, you can be standing one step or within hammer range of an enemy at like 200 HP and be going, soon as I get healed, soon as I get 2 Ana shots, soon as that Ananade hits me, I'm going to start swinging again and I'm going to be able to finish these targets off. But you can only stay there and do that if you have barrier to spend to allow you to stay in that range. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, in this case, you're probably not going to have to walk at these enemies because they're walking at you, which is oh so nice of them. But you are probably still going to want more than 650 health. I mean, maybe in this situation you won't. We can let the tape play. Okay. Okay. So, your barrier ends up not being relevant, mostly because you don't use it at the right times. But you see how much swinging on the opponents did you get done here? Were you able to use your barrier to get anything meaningful done to these opponents? Okay. No, some of that is because of ults. I get it. But, like, having our barrier lets us walk on these opponents. Lets us feel comfortable continuing to hold this space rather than backing up to here. Lets us do a lot more things, and you spent your barrier really for nothing. Like, remember, Reinhardt is a swing bot, not a shield bot. He is a hammer bot, but we do have to use our barrier to get to situations where we can be the swing bot that we truly are. Okay? Sure. Okay. Shield's up. Where are you going with it? Where are you going with this shield? Where are you going with this shield? Not even maybe. So, I hope this is as painful to you as it is to me, but this is like the definition of the Rein dance here. You're like trying to hold this bus pass bus path open for your team to take so that your team can rotate against both of these angles, and your team just wasn't ready to rotate. So your team is on their own as far as I'm concerned. You could have easily, ages ago, gotten yourself up to here or here, and then be recovering barrier rather than spending it, right?
Yeah.
And if you were worried about, no, I wanted to be able to give a barrier to my team to help them rotate, well, in that case, your solution was to wait right here, and then once you decided your team was ready, to put your shield up and decisively walk to your spot here. But this was just you giving time to fall behind here, and now you need to wait. Please don't. Please don't. Oh, no.
Barrier is failing.
So now it looks like you're trying to start the fight with 200 barrier. So are you ever going to get... Is there even a chance for Anna to heal you back up mid-fight if you go down to 200 HP, but you also get the Roadhog down to 100 HP, but you feel you can't swing because he'll one-shot you with a left click, but if you get healed, you'll be able to take him out? That's not really a contrived situation. Like, that's a situation that happens all the time in these fights, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just tuck right. Wait. Okay. Wait.
Like a new man.
Okay, and now this is a good push window. Why is this a good push window? Well,
Everybody's
it's not,
here.
It's not the
got-
greatest push window because we lost Junk, but go ahead.
Yeah, I have a lot of barrier. I'm full health, and if our Junkrat was alive, then all of us would be here.
Right. And so you've got barrier, you've got health, you're basically all here, and you just heard that a Roadhog hook didn't get value on top of it. That's something that you'll start to track as a tank, particularly a main tank that is deciding when pushes start. If they didn't get value out of bigger cooldowns like Roadhog hook, well, hey, that means you don't have to deal with a Roadhog hook, and pushing looks even more attractive. Oh boy. You like those fire strikes. So again, what this push should have been is I'm walking at you with my shield, and you're going to retreat from me walking at you with my shield, and if you don't, I'm going to swing at you, right?
Yeah.
Not a fire strike? Okay.
Not a crazy flick fire strike now.
You're playing it okay. So again, here you are. Your team is actively fighting over here. Things are going on. What are you doing?
Square dancing.
Nice. Maybe you can be on the cheerleader squad, moral support for the team. Yeah,
Yeah.
go!
So I
Okay.
got the football skin on, yeah.
There you go. Okay, so all you need to do right now is press W at these guys, right? Like, that's going to cause them, Sigma's going to stop having to help over there and turn and deal with you, right?
Am I too disconnected from my team? So I was hesitant to go, I don't know why I was hesitant to go right side. For some reason I felt like I had to go main.
Okay.
But I think I did this little thing because I felt like I would get too disconnected from my team and I would just get myself in a bad situation if I went forward.
From here?
Yeah, so like if I went and I walked towards the Cassidy and Sigma, I just didn't see, like, they were all the right side, so they would have to move like 7 steps to see me before they could do anything. So maybe it's not that. Oh, I guess she's right there.
She's right here, and honestly, her duty is to you. She might not recognize that. That might happen. Sometimes you'll realize, oh, my Anna's not going to pay attention to me. My BAP isn't going to pay attention to me if I take secondary angles from my team. But you don't have time to go over here. These guys are already pushing. And truth be told, you pushing here while your team is already pushing here is actually a more powerful push. It's harder for these guys to deal with a push from here and here than it is for them to deal with a forceful push from here. Because of how spam works, because of how turning the camera works, because of how, evasive movement works, lots of reasons. This is actually more dangerous to the opposing team than if you just push through here. Now, in a more ideal setup, you'd have probably been the one to push through here while, say, maybe your Diva off-angled over here or your Ashe off-angled over here, but you just flipped it, and that's fine. So, long story short, do it anyway. Instead, you're square dancing. You get nanoed because Anna would like you
Are
to.
you ready?
Okay.
Do I have your attention?
Sure. Okay. I probably don't go for the pin here, and the reason I don't go for the pin,
Do I have your attention yet?
let's say you hit this pin. What do you get? You take a nano hog out of the fight for a while, right?
Yeah.
You don't actually eliminate the nano hog. It's not even close, right?
Yeah, I take him down a bit, but not that, not enough to try and kill him because he's gonna be better at close range than I am probably.
He's got a shotgun, you've got a hammer. You can do some fancy weaving with your shield to the cadence of his hits and get some abusive stuff in there. But yeah, we'll go with, hey, we don't really like the fight. It's not great. My bigger issue is even if you land this pin, it doesn't do all that much. If you were a regular Reinhardt and he was Nano Hog, maybe taking him out of the fight for a while is more useful because, hey, he's not fighting. You're ticking down his nano time. But right now you're ticking down both of your nano times, and there's also the chance, the pretty good chance, that you're going to miss the pin, right? And if you miss the pin, your own nano time just ticked down all that time, and even if you started walking diligently on a target right now, you'd still be ticking down. Like, see how much nano time of yours you just wasted?
Yeah.
Whereas you could have easily just swung on the hog or, you know, been like, hey, hog doesn't have this. Maybe I'm going to take a step to force Anna back and then turn back and swing on the hog. Whatever the case is going to be, because Anna's going to be terrified of you. But, like, whatever the case there's going to be, you're in a situation where the cost benefit of going for a pin here doesn't really make sense. Again, if he's nanoed and you're not, that might totally change things, but that's not the case here.
Heroes never die.
Okay. Sure, that fire strike's fine. Why is your shield up all this time? You can put your shield up as you walk across the opening if you want, but no reason to keep it up.
Oh yeah, I just didn't know who was around there, and then I used it to peek around, so I didn't. Yeah.
You don't realize how close they are. The swing would have been so much better. Maybe you'd have knocked him away from the Junkrat. Okay, probably not, but maybe. And we're not going to shatter here. Man, this probably works. There's no hook to interrupt you, but okay. Yeah, this goes back. Okay, so you are fundamentally playing him. Reinhardt can be hard to play into heavy poke comps because everything just feels bad. It never feels like you can get close enough to the opponents to swing on them. It feels like anytime you walk at someone, you're going to get shot by someone else. Fundamentally feels bad. Your solution is to take outside angles, force it in such ways that all of the shots are coming at you from one direction. You're instead trying to solve this by playing Reinhardt like he's a poke hero, like playing far back and using fire strikes, and you're doing some corner holding, which is sort of good, but you really need to tax people as they try to walk through corners, or you need to use the corners to get the full shield, and then walk on people so you can swing at them. You're not really doing much swinging here. Do you see what do you see that or no?
Yeah, I see that.
Okay. So there's a couple ways you could fix that. One of which is, you know, hey, let's take those outside angles. Another of which is, hey, let's stop going for these weird fire strikes that cost us 2/3 of our health, and then we're even further behind. We can do those things, but the other is we don't have to play Reinhardt. I mean, I'm totally fine with you playing Reinhardt if Reinhardt is who you want to play, but you're mostly playing Reinhardt, and maybe this is because you're up against double off tank, but you're mostly playing Reinhardt like he's a poke tank, and you can play a poke tank if you'd prefer to do that. Like, if you want to be playing a little more at a range, you could play a Sigma, you could play an Orisa, you could play a Roadhog. And again, I don't usually make that recommendation to clients of, oh, just pick someone else. And you definitely don't have to do that, but I actually have to ask, do you want to be playing Reinhardt? Like, do you want to? Not is it good for the match, but do you want to, or are you playing him because, I don't know, your team asked for it or something?
I did enjoy playing Reinhardt a
Okay.
lot more than Orisa. Sigma can be fun. I'm just not. He has a large and like very like he has a big kit in
Sure.
order to you can master kind of like Diva that has a really high skill cap. But
Okay. Totally fine. I just wanted to check, so this is more a case of you're not enjoying this match against the double poke as opposed to you not enjoying Reinhardt. Is that a little more fair?
that is
Okay.
definitely correct. Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Nervous? Me?
4,
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Round
We're going to go for our pin, and you are going to go right side out. Oh, it hurts. It hurts so much.
Then face
Okay.
me.
So, what is the power position on this map?
The high ground.
It is. The high ground does give you quite a bit of control. It's not the most powerful power position ever, but it does give you quite a bit of control. So, your first rollout, since the point doesn't unlock for another 21 seconds, probably isn't about controlling the point right now. It's about controlling the high ground that then gives you 2/3 control of the point, right?
Yep.
So, you're totally standing right here, and my eyes just deceived me, right?
Yep.
Exactly.
That is correct.
Good. I'm glad.
Eyes on the bag.
Unfortunate. Okay, shield. And hey, that's life. You didn't see the max range hog hook, so you didn't block it.
Wait for
The
me.
objective is now active.
I probably don't leave this. So this just happens. Is anyone else on your team dead right now?
No.
So I probably don't want this point to flip. I see this happening, and I see your team backing off, but you're a full health, full shield Reinhardt that can at the very least go delay this flip, and I'm not willing to give up this flip with 6 of you alive. Instead, you do that.
I am your shield.
Now I'm sad. Okay.
Area is
So
giving
we need
out.
to push a little bit, push them back. Okay. Get shot, or you get flashed. And now you're going to turn right back, and you're going to hard push this Sigma. You pushed this group back a little bit, and you saw they did kite away, they did run away, and that is going to open enough of a window up for you to push over here. If they're good, they'll counter push, but you see how you're not pushing? Like, you need to be decisive. Do you see what I'm talking about here, where it's like, I want to do this. Let's go like this. Hog and Sigma are both pushed forward right now. You see Hog retreats, and you can hard pivot and like you can catch almost the Sigma at this point. You can almost catch the Sigma. You're not going to eliminate the Sigma before the Hog. Like, Sigma's going to start to kite you, and Hog is going to walk back forward, but you're sort of going to break line of sight on Hog. You see how that works, sort of? How you can sort of combat this U? It's not perfect. It's not as good as breaking it from the outside, but given your situation, it's kind of all we've got. Instead, you sort of delay, you go for a fire strike. Sure. Okay. You're gonna go in cover to clear the Discord, right? Okay. So I hate it. So all you've got to do right here, feels really bad, I get it, but all you've got to do right here is either wait here or go here to recover Discord and a little more shield, and then once Discord's gone, you walk out with your shield up and you just press W. You see how you've taken a ton of space back from them on this point?
Yeah.
Without you getting eliminated, but now your resources are totally fine. The only thing wrong in your world right now is that you're discorded, and you just threw your life away.
You're powered up. Get in there. We're leaving you with it.
Okay. Not what I'd have chosen. Sure.
I have just a general question about
Please.
the interaction. So when Ryan is discorded, his shield does not
Take increased damage now.
take increased damage. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep, no problem. That said, the Discord is never going to fall off just because your shield is between you and the Zenyatta.
Yeah.
Okay. It might move because he moves it somewhere else, but it's not going to count towards your 3 seconds of needing to be out of line of sight from him from it forcing a drop. So this is happening. You go for that. You tried to go with your Zarya bubble to swing there. Okay, so that's unfortunate, and this is always going to be hard. But hey, this happens. She goes for this. You shield for a moment. And what I actually want to do is a couple things. You could stand here and say, I'm going to be the shield so that my team can shoot at this team, and my team is going to take them down. That is an option for you, and it's a pretty reasonable option. You're not going to really get to swing on this team. There's a Roadhog, a Diva, a Zen, and a McCree in front of you. If you swing on this team from the direction that they're all shooting, because your entire team or the only people that they're worried about are in this direction, right? So everyone in this grab is going to shoot this way. So you can either shield while your team shoots and go, hey, my team is safe, or you can try to walk to the side or walk around them and swing from a different angle than your team and expose your team so that you can get damage without instantly getting blown up. Those are your options. And it looks like you maybe sort of thought, hey, I'll go to the side, but you didn't really go to the side there, did you?
No.
Yeah, so pick one. All good.
I'm gonna shoot you down. Let's do this.
Again!
Okay. Unfortunate bubble. Sure, so you pick a side and you push it. And if you push the side, it'll create an opening. You blocked it. You're just going to walk on Hog and swing at him because do you think you're vulnerable to your right now?
No, because they got pushed away, and there's a wall between us.
Exactly. So if we look at this, easy swings. And now you're going to shield, sure, and you'll go back for cover. And I want to drop my shield now because I want to be recovering shield because I'm going to need more shield to push, and I don't want to be waiting on shield to push
I'll show them.
when I get healed. Now, Anna just doesn't like healing you very much. Fine.
It's hot.
And I'm intentionally going to drive this from third person for a little bit because I think that's going to help you see what you need to see at this point of, oh, hey, you're pushing this. I suddenly don't really like this anymore. I can swing because I have the bubble, but I don't really want to go any deeper. In fact, I kind of want to back off and change my angle on this. Like, if I look at these guys, look at you from over here, this kind of sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm helping them get an off angle.
Yeah, so how can you solve this?
If I'm gonna back up, and then I would go through the middle of that middle structure and then push the right side. Like, as long as they stay on the right side. Yeah.
Perfect. You back up. You maybe end up being firing platform for a moment for your team while they do that, whatever. And, you know, if you see openings, fine, you can do that. But more likely, you're going to rotate through here, and you're either going to meet them who are trying to push through here or push through here to get on your team, or you're going to go find them and go thwack and beat on them who are here, who will now have to turn and pay attention to you, which is way better than them having this off angle on your team, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. That was not what we wanted, but all good, all good.
Forward shield.
These are hard decisions, and they're especially hard decisions when you're up against, you know, purples, Discord orbs, and double off tech. Like, that's going to feel bad.
Yeah, this hurts me a lot because this is like the same fight at the beginning where I didn't touch, and they've gotten like 90% from the same fight, even just because I didn't touch. It hurts me.
There's a couple points. This is one of them. Li Shan Garden is one of them where the stalls could just be the entire round, and it does hurt a bit. So you're doing some square dancing because it feels fun to you right now. Sure. Oh, so this isn't where we wanted to be. And I'm just going to let this one go because you didn't realize that the Cassidy was over here. And that's life. So be it. We'll deal.
Nerf this.
You do want to be thinking about, aware of the off angles, that sort of thing, but that's sort of how that works. So I really think the most valuable thing from this
Ready
review
for
for
battle.
you is going to be this sort of example that we walked through, where you go, hey, wait, if I push the enemies a little bit and they back off, if I push the enemies and they back off in a concave type direction, I can just back out of the fight myself and then circle around the outside to push them. Like I can circle in a way to push them, or I can circle on enemies in such a way where if it's like, hey, there's enemies to my left and right, well, I don't like it, let me go over here, now all of the enemies are in front of me. Like, you're looking for ways to get those sorts of solutions as Reinhardt to these sorts of fights, and that's really important. Like, that's the concept that you want to do, that you want to fulfill. You want to understand that you are trying to be a swing bot as Reinhardt. The other thing that's going to help is you're just giving up way too much shield just cuz. Like, you tell me, when do I want you to spend shield?
Whenever we're pushing on someone, like trying to get closer to them so I can swing on them,
Sure.
get in swing distance, or stabilizing in a fight where I don't have a lot of health.
Right, but you're not just stabilizing just cuz. Like, if you're stabilizing, you're really keeping yourself in range to be able to swing on the enemy. If you're not keeping yourself in range to be able to swing on the enemy, you should instead be rotating out to cover. Okay?
So if I'm fighting like a Reinhardt,
Mm-hmm.
because he can hit through my shield. If I
Yeah.
get low health, do I just always back off with shield? I mean, he's probably
So
gonna walk towards me anyway, but
yeah, so the answer is, I say you want to stay within swing range, but really you can stay a step outside of swing range. The point is you don't have to re-earn your space back. You're sort of minimizing the amount of time that they have to get out of the bad situation. And Reinhardt is a frequent opponent that you'll run into this with, where you trade swing each other, and you'll either make a decision of, okay, I'm going to now back out to cover, or, hey, I'm going to get healed and he's low health too, and I'm going to then go for this type thing. And you might have stepped one step out of range. You might be doing the forward back, like, hey, I step forward to swing and then back up and step forward to swing and then sort of back up type thing. But you're actually doing that. You're not just going, hey, there's a Reinhardt right here and I'm standing right here with my shield. Like, no, you could be standing, if there's Reinhardt right there, right here maybe, and then it's two steps and you swing, or you could be standing shield to shield with him, potentially, probably not in the modern era of how Earth Shadow works after the changes, but you wouldn't
yeah,
stand here, and if you were standing here, I'd be screaming at you to step in here, right?
gotcha. That makes sense.
Okay. And then pull back on these fire strikes. It's not, I don't even want to talk necessarily with you about the tech of like, hey, let's hit our fire strike, wind up. I think you've seen those videos of you hit your fire strike, you then
Yeah,
peek to aim throw. That I don't care about with you. I care that you're throwing a bunch of fire strikes in the open. Like, I don't want you throwing these fire strikes in the open really at all. Like, if you're throwing a fire strike at a hit scan hero like Cassidy or Soldier, if when they're already looking at you, they're going to do more damage to you than you are to them, and you're aiming this awkward projectile that they can dodge, right?
yeah,
And the same thing is true for Zen, right?
yeah.
And
Any
Anna's
fast
probably going to
moving
hit you with a sleep
projectile.
dart. And you see where I'm going with this, where it's like,
Yeah,
Fire Strike is like, again, yeah, you can finish people off, you can use it from cover sometimes, but you're way too Fire Strike happy, and I think it's happening because you don't understand how else you can fight these off tanks. It feels like you can't get close to them, but again, it's about circle around the outside or change the angle so that everyone is in front of you, even if your team isn't behind you anymore.
yeah,
Like,
that makes sense.
that's really the answer. So this one feels bad. It's always going to feel bad to play Reinhardt into heavy poke comps that are split. That's just how they work. It's part of the, why people say poke counters brawl. That's kind of what that is. But that's really where I'd want you to go here. So think about how to hit these rotations, even if they're just you. Think about your shield more in terms of, hey, what am I doing with this? I'm either getting to the opponents or I'm stabilizing because I'm about to swing on the opponents again. And about to swing on the opponent again means I can really swing on them pretty easily again. Or, I'm rotating out, that sort of thing. And then our last thing there would be those fire strikes, which you're just getting chunked and then never catching up and getting back into fights because of. So those would be the 3 things I'd want you to work on, one thing at a time. Do those make sense? Do you feel like there's been some level of epiphany of what's going on here? Or do you feel like, this still just felt really bad?
Yeah, no, definitely. So what were the first 2?
Sure. So the first one is going to be really thinking about how you're going to engage on these comps when they start splitting a little bit. How to either get all of the opponents lined up in front of you, or how to put walls between you and one set of opponents, or how to rotate outside first, because rotating outside will almost always put all of them in front of you in one direction, right? Like if we use the example from here where the tanks went over there and their backline was here, if you rotate like this, well, now they're all in front of you. Or if they meet you here, well, you don't care about those ones anymore because you have a wall between you and them, right?
That makes sense, yeah.
Okay. The second one was about your shield use, and I really don't want you just holding your shield, doing shield, whatever nonsense. I want you using your shield to get to opponents or stabilizing when you're close enough that you can pretty easily go ahead and hit follow-up hits. Not like I'm trying to continue to hold this open space, not I'm just here holding this whatever while they shoot at me, but like there's a Roadhog that's 2 steps in front of me. I'm just keeping enough distance that he can't walk through my shield easily, that as soon as I get a heal, I'm going to do 2 more swings on, that sort of thing. That was the second one. And then the third one was the fire strikes.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah,
Okay.
that makes sense.
Okay. Any final questions, comments, concerns, things you want to jump into here?
I don't think so. I think that answers all my questions.
Excellent. Excellent.